Okay, you should be able to hear me, but you can't hear the music at all. Let me figure out why this is. This should be Mr. and understand. Right. Well, I did it again. 1 second. Sorry. I used to pin it to Chantel for some reason. No, I doubt that it is Chantel related for this. Okay, we're gonna that audio. Incidentally, let me try this. If I push play, do you hear this music? Negative. Right. Of course not. Why would you? Let's try. Loudness. Do you hear music? Okay. It adds it at top volume. I had to delete the audio source and add it again, which is probably related to all of the reinstallation of stuff that I've had to do recently, which means I'm gonna absolutely have to do this one. Let's go ahead and delete it now and do it now. This was not the music I had playing to do it. Let me add in the things that I need to have added. And thank you for assisting. Well, I don't know. Oh, anyway, fine. Brain. Well, I forgot what I was doing. I'm sorry. I was adding things, but I forgot what I was adding. Okay. Prepare your ears, because I do not have control over what volume it comes in at. Playing is okay. Let me pause. I don't hear anything. That monitor is off. Of course it is. You hear music. And it's not the music that was playing before. Okay. I was trying to get the Pretzel Rocks music in there, and so now it's there. And good. Oh boy. Well, but we will have to do one more, because I will have to add the game when we get back, or when I actually pop over to the game. But hopefully I don't have to re-add it next time. This time I'm not I'm not totally surprised that I had to re-add these audio sources because between the time that I set them up and now, I had to completely reinstall OBS. So that would be my guess as to why things were mucked up, and so hopefully, fingers crossed. The reason I had to reinstall OBS is that, from what I can tell, it was the Stream Elements, the se.live OBS plugin that was causing problems and causing my stream rate to spike to like 9,000 and then drop to 0. Whereas the occasional blip caused by Chantel happens occasionally. It'll drop out and then it'll come back, and it's frustrating and there's nothing I can do about it. But it doesn't cause my bitrate to jump to like 9,000 and then fall to 0 and then bounce back to like 8,000. And the Stream Elements Live plugin was doing that, which is why last week we had to completely leave OBS behind and go over to Streamlabs to make the stream function. So I believe I have corrected for that today, but it required me to uninstall OBS and reinstall OBS, which then required me to reinstall the beta audio plugin that I'm using to separate all my audio sources so that I can control them independently. It also required me to reinstall Stream Deck, which is why my Stream Deck was not functioning yesterday, because you have to install the Stream Deck software after installing OBS in order for the Stream Deck plugin to install into OBS. But I did not know this, and so none of my Stream Deck buttons worked yesterday. Anywho, I think so. Everything works great the first time you install it. You make one little change, such as installing an update, and everything breaks. But I think we're getting there. I think we're gonna be functional. I also I almost canceled today. I am so low energy right now. I have at this point I think I have to call it chronic. I have issues with postnasal drip, which is caused by something, usually environmental. It just like causes me to feel the need to cough, which I'm sure you've experienced watching my stream. And this morning, I didn't want to get up because when I'm laying down, it doesn't bother me. But I got up and I took some medication that includes I took an expectorant with a cough suppressant, and I'm feeling much better at the moment. It's just it's so tiring to cough all the time. Anywho, sorry, I feel like I've got an eyelash in my eye now. I'm falling apart. This happens when you get older. Start to fall apart. Post-nasal drip. Your doctor told you yours was likely CPAP related. God, yeah. There are so many causes for it. It can be the result of having had a cold, and postnasal drip can persist for months after having had a cold. Slight irritations, allergies can be the cause for it. I'm on a daily nasal steroid because despite the fact that tests show I'm not allergic to anything, the pollen in this area is so bad that even though I'm not allergic to it, I still react to it. So it's probably related to the fact that we're transitioning from winter into spring, and so all of the trees are having sex, and the combination of that with really poor temperature controls in my office at work, where it's extremely variable as to whether it will be frigid and freezing or oppressively hot and stuffy. Just plus the storms that come through, all of the stuff affecting my sinuses just gets them going into overdrive, and then they just don't want to stop. So I'm gonna try my expectorant and cough suppressant for a few days and see if that helps. Because if that helps and gets it under control, that would be good. Which reminds me, I should probably put more of that on the grocery list. No, I don't. I don't want dictation. Why does my... No! What are you doing, phone? Apparently I don't... Oh. Give me 1 second. I just have to pop into the grocery list and add more of this medication. Our grocery store, as much as I hate our grocery store, as much as I hate the grocery chain that we shop from, they have an amazing app. It's really good as far as allowing you to make lists, and when you go to the store, it tells you what aisle things are supposed to be on. For a while, that was messed up in our current one, or our local one, but it is a really good app. This one? Awesome. Add to this. Now, lately, one of the changes that they made to the grocery app is a little frustrating, because the grocery store app defaults to add to cart instead of add to list, and there's no way to tell it, no, I'm going to go to the grocery store and physically shop. I'm not trying to place an order to have your shoppers shop for me because they do a horrible job. And they do weird substitutes or no substitute. One time we tried doing that, and I think we got a third of our grocery order, and so after I picked up the groceries that they had selected for us based on our grocery order, I then had to go to the grocery store and shop. Because they hadn't even bothered with substitute. They had just said, nope, we don't have it. Hashtag not sponsored by my grocery store. Yeah. Well, I haven't said the name of the grocery store either. But, yeah, so it's a good app. I wish it would let me default to add to list instead of hiding the add to list option. There are I have to click 3 extra times to add something to the list versus adding it to the cart. And there's no way to add to cart and then turn the cart into a list. So I have changes I would make to their app if I could. If I add something to the list and it's not something that is an inventory item in their system. So if I just want to add pancakes as an item on the list versus finding an item that is pancakes and adding that item to the list, if I just want to add the word pancakes to the list, it will take up about 1/3 of the amount of space as the inventory items when looking at the list, and therefore it is extremely easy to miss that it is there. But if I don't have it's something I know that they carry, but for some reason their inventory system isn't showing it to me when I search, which has happened most recently with the blueberry pancake and sausage on a stick item, which is the best of the pancake and sausage on a stick items, which are something we've been buying because it means I actually eat breakfast. Because they only take a minute in the microwave and they are not a Kellogg's product. But just typing in an item, just saying, yep, just add this to the list. I'm not going to select an inventory item out of your inventory, means that I always lose it. I don't see that it's there when I'm actually looking at the list to do the shopping because it is so tiny compared to the other items. I would just make it take up the same amount of space, and then I would see it. And these are user experience things that I would want to change if I had any say in the process. You usually have good luck with grocery orders, but your shoppers are pretty good about it. So, Huddle, if our shoppers had ever bothered to communicate with us at all, our experience may have been different. The first time that we did a grocery order, where we actually placed the order to have them do the shopping and then drove over there and picked it up, I think only one item they didn't have, and they did a substitution for it, and it was fine, and it was great, and so we did it again. But by like the 4th or 5th time we did it, most of the stuff on our list, they said they didn't have. And they have never once, when I placed an order, bothered to contact me to ask about substitutions or anything like that. And it's like, okay, I get that we put a 3-package of like pork rounds or something on there, like a 3-pack of steaks on it, because your system said that there was a 3-pack of steaks. Marking that as we don't have this and not getting anything doesn't make sense when I know for a fact you've got a 2-pack and a 4-pack, and you sell individual steaks. And so if we wanted 3 steaks, you've got steaks. Do a frickin' substitution or call me and ask. Like, don't just say, nope, sorry, we don't have that specific 3-pack. But that was what they were doing, so that I would get there, pick up the groceries, and then have to go in the store and shop. Because they marked most of it as not having it, and then when I went into the store to shop, I would be like, yeah, they didn't have the 3-pack, but they have 2-packs sitting right next to it. Or a 4-pack that's the same price, that's right next to it, to where the 3-pack should be. Like, it was infuriating to me. Absolutely infuriating. Yeah, I don't really trust them with fresh produce either. But yeah, they've never once, when I placed an order, bothered to contact me to find out what I would like. And I have it marked as substitutions okay. Some of their substitutions that they actually did do were weird. But also, like, if I've got a name brand on the list, so I know this because I went there, picked up the order, and then had to go in the grocery store to shop. But, like, we had a name brand on the list. Or, like, I don't know, like creamed corn, canned creamed corn. We had a name brand of canned creamed corn on the list. And they mark it as, we don't have it. And after I pick up my order and I go inside in the grocery store to shop for the things that they didn't give us, I discover, no, they don't have the name brand of canned creamed corn. But they have a generic brand, same size package, of canned creamed corn that they did not substitute and did not ask me if I wanted substitute. Why? So that was my experience with the grocery store shoppers here. And when we used to live in Minnesota, the grocery store there, once or twice we actually did order groceries for delivery. and we didn't have this sort of problem there. So I think it is just our local grocery store that does a really bad job of the whole shopping for your order thing. Yeah. And Mobius, that is a substitution that makes sense. Oh, you ordered thick slices. We don't have those, but we have the same brand in a slightly thinner slice. That is a reasonable substitution. And even if I personally would not have made that substitution myself in the store, even if I would have, say, gone to a different brand of thick slice, I understand that that is a reasonable substitution to make without checking with the customer. And I understand that if the grocery store is low on lots of things, it might not be reasonable for them to call me and say, half your order we don't have, what would you like us to do instead? I just think at some point our grocery store decided to default to marking things as we don't have them, rather than reaching out or trying to make substitutions. But it became really frustrating because we were doing the work of shopping in their system, finding what we wanted, putting it on the order, and then I would go and be there on time to pick it up. And the reason we were doing it was because things were particularly bad at that period of time with regard to the pandemic. And so we were trying to limit risk and have me not physically go into the grocery store. And what ended up happening was I would go, they would load the stuff into my trunk, and then I would stop at another grocery store on the way home to shop for all the things that they had not gotten for us. So we finally gave it up, and I was just shopping. I would go, they had the senior hours that ended at like 8 a.m. And so I would be at the grocery store at 8 a.m. on Sunday morning every week to do the grocery shopping. And I despise grocery shopping. It is one of the most annoying things for me. I hate it. It enrages me. I find it ridiculously boring. I hate cooking. I hate grocery shopping. I also get I have trouble making decisions when I'm at the grocery store, so I go and I want this thing and I find where it is and there's too many options and I can't decide. And so just in many ways, I absolutely despise grocery shopping. For a year. From March of 2020 until at least March of 2021, I went once a week to the grocery store at 8 a.m. on a Sunday and did the grocery shopping, texting my husband every time they didn't have something to ask what we should get instead, because he's the one that cooks and he's the one that enjoys foods and knows what substitutions to make. Like, one of the first things that grocery stores were out of was garlic. And I was like, I don't know what to substitute if a recipe calls for garlic and there's no garlic. And for a year, I got up ridiculously early on a Sunday and went grocery shopping by myself during a pandemic. Because our grocery store couldn't get the shoppers to work in an acceptable fashion. So yeah. Once the vaccines became available is when I stopped having to go and do it myself. All of yours use Instacart. Yeah, I don't think ours are Instacart. Ours are just through the actually, I don't know what ours is called. So it's fine. I have gotten through it. If I have to go to the grocery store, I can. I'll run in and grab something. I just don't enjoy grocery shopping. And if we go grocery shopping together, it usually ends in an argument because I really dislike grocery shopping. So it's just best if I don't go. So, anywho. I think the game has had plenty of time to load, and we should probably move in that direction, since we have totally been playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition since the stream went live. Shall we go to a place that does not have grocery shopping? Indeed we shall. Also, this is week 2 of me doing something that I will be very curious to see if anybody ever picks up on with regard to the Mass Effect stream. Week 2, I did it again. I stuck with it. I remembered I was doing it, and I have done it for a second time. Okay, let me actually open the application. I will have to add the volume. I have yet to go to the Citadel in Mass Effect 2. I used the quick save key twice. Nope, that's not it. It is something that I do as part of setting up the stream. It's a silly thing. But I have to see. I will reveal what it is eventually, if it ever becomes relevant. But I do have to set up the sound, otherwise you're not going to be able to hear the game. So I just have to get into the game so that I can tell it. Look for the secret Caden totem somewhere on the screen. Hey, I could have done it and not told anybody that I was doing something. But instead, I chose to actually let you all in on the fact that I have done something. It's up to you to figure out what it is. I can also, in a moment, I can tell you how many weeks it will be before I reveal it. Awesome. This was 2. After the 10th week, if nobody's gotten it, I will let you know what it is, because then it will be done. Wonders where that fish did go. Don't know what that means, but okay. Alright, let me add the audio for the game. What's that? Audio add. Added massive. App down. Right about advanced audio property. I want Mass Effect. What I want. Okay. And so if I go. I have watched Monty Python movies. I'm not getting that reference. Which movie is that one referencing? Oh, okay, from Meaning of Life. I know a little bit of... I've seen Meaning of Life maybe twice, and it's not one that I know quite as well. The one that I know the best is Holy Grail. Holy Grail and Life of Brian are the ones that I know the best. Meaning of Life, I've definitely seen, but I may have only seen once or twice. So, alright. I think my taste is reasonable. My mom introduced me. This is the screen I want. Let me go ahead and make this music end. Sorry, I am really complex. I'm really distracted today. I apologize. Okay. Mass Effect. It is Sunday. It is Mass Effect. You should all have sound from the game now. I hope. 34 Deaths was from Wandersong. And was partly when we, it's mostly just background noise at the moment. I could turn it up a little, but I suspect that the volume is where it should be. We'll find out. The Wandersong deaths, the 34 deaths, was because of, when the internet decided it wanted to do icky things and drop out on us on Monday, and I just let the game kill me over and over and over and over and over again until the internet came back. So don't go unprepared. Remember that F5 is your quick save option. Save early, save often. Also, you never know when Caden might show up. Make sure to use only the best armor and weapon protection before side questing. Oh my god. I just got that. Alright. We did just finish a DLC, if I remember correctly. So we have some codex entries. New items in the codices. Shadow Game. The Broker's Secret. The Yogg. The Yogg are a race of massive apex predators from the world of Parnak, whose rise to sentience is in no way blunted their violent nature. A group of Yogg is unable to cooperate until a single leader has been determined through either social maneuvering or brute force. But no grudges are held once a Yogg establishes dominance. Former rivals serve their new superior's purpose with unflinching loyalty and relentless determination, a legacy of their origin as a pack species. Their 8 eyes are another sign of their hunter ancestry. All 4 pairs are geared toward tracking down and predicting the movements of prey. Sophisticated and keenly developed sensitivity to movement and light have made Yoggs masters at reading body language, regardless of species. Much to their short-lived chagrin, the Council's first contact teams discovered it was nearly impossible to lie to a Yogg. The Yogg had technology equivalent to 20th century Earth standards when they were discovered by the Council in 2125. The Council's ambassadors approached the Yogg as friends and allies instead of subordinates, a baffling sign of contempt from newcomers on Parnak. The Yogg attacked when it became apparent that the alien diplomats stubbornly considered themselves sovereign people instead of new underlings. Parnak remains off-limits by order of the Council, which fears that the Yogg's size, aggression, and obsession with control make them poorly suited for integration into the galactic community. Yes, that is what we ended with, was all that lore at the end of Shadow Broker, which we did finish reading all of that, so I think this week we won't be buried in your lore. We have a new mission. And it's not a side quest, it's a mission. For Samara, the Ardat Yakshi. Talk to Samara in the Starboard Observation Lounge on the Normandy deck. So we've picked up Samara's personal quest. We still have a rival, which you've all advised me that I should wait on doing. So we may end up... We'll run around and talk to people, because we just finished a major thing. I'm thinking... Still have... kind of side quest. Okay, so this is Citadel, this is Citadel. This is the main quest. So, some of these are not on the Citadel, and a couple of them are. Our last possible party member, the Master Thief, is on the Citadel. We've been avoiding the Citadel, assuming that going to the Citadel will advance the main plot. So we could continue doing all of these side things, like the personal quests for our party. Or we could make our first trip to the Citadel. Hard to say what is actual main plot at this point, since everything is under the main plot section. Citadel Council. Shepard will come see us any day now. Any day. Yeah. But for now, let's run around and talk to the people as our wonderful 80s action hero, Shepard. Oh,
You received a new message at your private terminal.
I bought a new game yesterday. I have yet to play it. I loaded into it and I said, oh, this needs better onboarding. I have no idea what to click. And immediately exited the game because I didn't really have time. I bought it because it was 80% discounted. And it was on my wish list. Yes, if it has a character name in front of it, those are essentially side quests. So I think we'll end up doing them first. I bought Star Wars Battlefront 2 because it was on my wish list. It's typically a $40 game to purchase. This is through the Steam store. Typically a $40 game. I bought it for $6 because it is presently $5.99 in the Steam store. So if you've been waiting to buy Star Wars Battlefront 2, now would be a good time. But I loaded into it and I was like, I have absolutely no idea where to start. And immediately exited the game. One thing about Star Trek Online as an MMO, it has good onboarding. You create your character, and it shows you how to do things, and tells you where to go. But $6 for a $40 game. Still alive, from Detective Anaya. Greetings, Commander. I'm not completely sure this will get to you, but thanks again for helping me deal with Samara. The Eclipse mercs have gotten real quiet around here, and my superiors have backed off too. No idea if the two are related, but hopefully the next time I meet a Gistakar, I can give her the respect she deserves. Still can't believe I worked a case with one of them. You're a lucky human. If I find any more data on her target, I'll pass it along. Thanks. Detective Anaya, Ilium Law Enforcement. Sorry. Really distractible. Mark as red. Okay. Shepard who does not know how to run. Flying across the universe. Alright, Joker. What you got for me?
Commander.
That's it? How are things in the cockpit?
Everything is going well up here.
Good for now. Fractured my thumb on the mute, but I think I made my point.
Why are you not romanceable?
See you, Commander.
There have got to be mods. I would be incredibly surprised if there are not mods to make Joker romanceable. Let us observe the options. We have Jacob's quest. We've not done it yet, so he's not going to want to talk to us about anything else. Research terminal. I think we did all of these that we could do last time. We have Morden's personal quest. We've not done it, so he's not going to want to talk to us. Briefing room. Nothing there. Might not have too much talking to do. We might just need to go and find the Justicar.
Samara wants a moment with you, Commander.
I'm aware of that, Kelly. Thank you. Ooh, but we have fish to feed! Unless they died. Hi. So long since we fed them. Hello, fishies! That is... Somebody had fish. Like, we put the food in and they immediately swam up to the top to eat some, and that is exactly what pet fish do. When you sprinkle the flakes on the top of the water, they swim straight up to the top and start eating the flakes. I'm very confused as to why two bots decided that they needed to post the same message. The fish live! Why? Both of them. Also, how? Because that is not even a command in the one bot. Ableism, hats, lurkers, Discord. Let's just shut that one off there since it's still in the MooBot. They're fighting for supremacy! I was trying to move everything over to mix it up from MooBot, but I didn't end up moving it all because I can't have the mods, like the mods I can't get them access to mix it up the same way I could to MooBot. So I need to go back and actually... Any command that I want the mods to be able to edit, I need to have in MooBot or in Nightbot or something like that. It's really just the death counter, I guess, that I need to have in Mix It Up because that one MooBot can't do. Your power is constrained. Aiden's not in the bathroom. It's fine. I happened to notice that both of the bots posted the same message at the same time, and I was like, this is not what is supposed to happen.
Shepard, is there time to visit the Citadel yet?
Not yet.
I shall return to my meditations.
Not yet. We are not going to the Citadel yet. Nope, nope, sorry. Eventually we will get there and treat your condition. Very attractive
The men's restroom is on
lizard boy.
the ship.
I was checking to see if Kaden was in the women's restroom. What's wrong with that? Hello, Ardatyakshi. Whatever you are. Just a car.
Glad you came. I must ask for your help. That is not easy for me.
How is the volume? With the characters speaking? Let me know if I need to boost it at all.
It's all right. Just tell me what you need.
When we met on Ilium, I told you about a very dangerous person I was pursuing. Using the information you obtained, I have located her. She's been going by the name Morinth. I would like to apprehend her before she disappears again.
Investigate! Alright. So I have, like, personal quests for everybody on the ship. They all need me to do something, and I've sort of told them all that I will do it, as soon as possible. Alright, I'm gonna boost the game just a tad, then. We'll go from minus 40 decibels to minus 35 decibels and see if that's any better for you. Continue to provide me that feedback, because it's all adjustable. But anyway, Samara, as I was saying, there's like basically everybody on the ship needs me to do something that needs to happen yesterday. So, you know, how urgent is your thing? Do we need to have done it like days ago?
Didn't you say you'd pick up her trail after our mission?
I know where she is, right now. In a month, she may be gone.
Got it.
This is the best opportunity I've ever had.
Got it. I encountered that exact sort of situation in D&D last night, where my character had obtained some intelligence, letting me know that certain people were located in a place, and that I might not get there in time, but if I went there, I might be able to glean some information. The problem is, is Elixir here? It does not appear so. So, since it doesn't look like Elixir's in chat, and also, Elixir, if you are in chat and you happen to hear this, forget that I said it. My character is an agent of the Harpers, and so we happened to stop in Brinchander, and I checked in with my Harper contact, who told me that the Red Wizards of Thay were active in in Icewind Dale, and that one of them was scheduled to be executed in East Haven, and that I should head there and see if I can figure out what the Red Wizards were up to. So I had to do all of that, but my party doesn't know that I'm an agent of the Harpers, and so I got us to go to East Haven, and we got there just as the wizard was being burned at the stake. I have your secret backstory. So I had to make a new character. And I made the new character, and I think I rolled a die to pick the secret off of the available secrets that are part of the module. And so yeah, I have that that secret as mine that I rolled. But my character is not your character. My character is a fairy with fairy wings and everything, who spent time among the giants and learned rune magic, and so I am a dual-wield fighter who is a fairy and can fly, but can also grow to large size because I know giant magic. Yeah, we're probably Rime of the Frost Maiden. We're probably playing the same module. Alright, Samara. I understand this is your best opportunity, and that urgency is involved. Yes, Fairy Rune Knight. I am enjoying the flexibility of it. And we had an encounter last night where we ended up battling a summoned demon of some sort. I don't remember what the creature was, but we freed a bunch of souls that were trapped in a giant stone cauldron. And our DM basically said not all of these souls are strong enough to escape and go their own way, and some of them would like to inhabit your weapons. So he's added something where basically we got to pick... he found some module or something that somebody had written to allow for enchanted weapons or spirit weapons. And we're using it. And so we had to pick the name of the spirit, why they chose us, and then we had, to start off, we had 7 spirit points that we could spend on different abilities. And as long as we don't offend the spirit, our weapon or item is enchanted with those properties. And so my fighter fights with 2 rapiers, and one is named Singing Song and the other is named Encore, because I have an entertainer background. And so the first, I had the spirit occupy Singing Song. The spirit's name is Trillion, and oh my god, I definitely did consider basically Trillion from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is the spirit that has occupied my sword, and chose me because they liked my adventurous curiosity. My character has a wisdom of 8, has a high intelligence, low wisdom, and so we were sneaking into a place and my character just got impulsive and impatient and advanced in, and then got flanked and beaten down. Silver Dragonborn Paladin. Hi, Elaki! Yes, so I basically have chosen that Trillion is the one who has occupied my weapon. But so now my weapon is a +1 weapon, but also I had enough points to... So rushing in, I failed on initiative. I was knocked unconscious twice. I was poisoned. So the initial abilities that this spirit has granted via my sword are advantage on initiative. If I get knocked unconscious, I get to attack before falling unconscious. So if I drop to 0 hit points, I can immediately attack before I fall unconscious. Advantage versus being poisoned. And I forgot what the other one was, but it was another one that was very, very thematic to all of the things that went wrong for me in that fight. I now have mitigation against via this magic sword. and I knew, like, I had been very cautious. I had been sneaking up. I had been looking, like, peeking around corners and things like that. But my character is, one of the character traits that I have for my character is that they are impulsive and will immediately, or they'll follow their whims, and they have low wisdom. So up to a point, I had been really cautious, and the rest of the party was hanging back. But there was this cauldron with these rainbow lights shooting out of it, and I got up and could see most of the room. Didn't see any bad guys, even though we could hear them talking. And my character just got impatient and rushed forward, and it put them in a bad situation. But I'm playing my character's flaw. I don't remember exactly what the flaw is. I could look it up in just a second, but thank you, Lord Portico. I will start with my hydrate. And I shall stretch. Sorry, this all started because we were asking Samara about urgency, and let me pull up the D&D Beyond app on my phone. Cautious of... Yes, I will be cautious. I will say that we did fight... a month ago, we fought a lighthouse in human form. That's all I will say about that. It was fun. Where's... Okay, Glimmerwing is my character. And if I go to... it under description... So, personality traits. I change my mood or my mind as quickly as I change key in a song. Ideals. The world is in need of new ideas and bold action. Yeah, so those are the two that kind of influenced what happened last night. RPG zine based around being a magic sword, having motivations and goals, but being 100% at the mercy of the NPC. That is amazing, Elaki. That would be so much fun. Like, that is an amazing concept. That would be so interesting. I get frustrated by some of the restrictions that show up on certain things. But mostly because they are presented as the only option. I'm particularly thinking of oh shoot, what are they called? The Raven people in D&D. Like Fury was one on Critical Role. But I love the character design where they mimic and can only say things that they've heard somebody else say. They can only mimic other sounds. But I would literally never play one because that is too difficult. And as much as I love birds and want to play a bird person, the Kenku, yeah. As much as I love birds and absolutely want to play a bird person, and I love the concept of the Kenku, and I want to play one, I would never do so because of that language restriction. It would not be fun for me to play. So, I mean, discussions with your DM, you could go around that and basically just say, yeah, they have a full vocabulary, they can say whatever they want to because, you know, they've heard people say everything. Like, you could just do away with that as an option, but it just frustrates me that it's built that way. Like, I like that as a recommendation of how to do it, but it's just... I got to that part and I was like, I was so excited for this race and now I never want to play it. But now we have Alkin. I think. From Strixhaven, there's the owl people. I'm gonna play the game. I'm sorry, I have digressed, and I'm going to finish this conversation with Samara.
Where is she?
Omega, a nightclub called Afterlife.
Oh, Afterlife,
Seems
yay.
a perfect place for her to hunt.
How important is this?
I like the digression. I just need to actually click things while we do
It
it.
is the most important thing in my life, and the reason I became a Justicar.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You have been trying to track this person and kill them for 400 years? I think we need to discuss your qualifications for being on my team again, because if you have not been able to locate and eliminate a target in 400 years, I don't think you're qualified to be part of what we're doing here. I need people who are effective and can kill and track a little bit faster than that, please. If it took you 400 years... and me, in order to figure out where she is so that you can go and kill her, I have a problem with your effective follow-through. Game's still a bit quiet. We've side-quested from our side question with a side quest. Oh, you know, I had a thing that I did. I wonder... Nope, that's not going to do it. Okay. Try this thing. Just playing the long game. No, but seriously, like, if you can't... I need somebody who can do things a little bit faster than 400 years.
Tell me about her.
She is an Ardat Yakshi. It is a term from a dead Asari dialect. It means demon of the night winds, but that is mythology. She is simply a very dangerous woman who kills without mercy.
I have to go with sounds like you. You're a Justikar. You are a very dangerous woman who kills without mercy.
You're dangerous too.
As are you. But she is different. Morinth suffers a rare genetic disorder. When she mates with you, there is no gentle melding of nervous systems. She overpowers yours, burns it out, hemorrhages your brain. You end up a mindless shell, and soon after, you are dead.
Okay. And so she's dangerous because she's mating with people often?
Why isn't this ever mentioned in Asari literature or art?
When we were primitive, there was much fascination with Ardat Yakshi. Some cultures worshipped them as gods of destruction. Now the Asari have a place in the galaxy, and they don't wish this defect to be widely known. As far as I know, only 3 exist today. 2 chose a life of seclusion.
Death
The
by
third
Snoo
ran.
Snoo!
Morinth.
She ran, and I am sworn to kill her.
Is it wrong to want freedom?
I don't know that I blame her for running.
When she fled, she proved her addiction. She was not taking a great moral stand. She simply wants to keep killing. She is a tragic figure,
Okay,
but not a sympathetic
so you're
one.
saying she's addicted to killing people, which would mean she is a murderer. And that would give justification for why we should be tracking her down. And you have 400 years to fuck around and find out. You fuck around and find out a lot. Oh, yeah.
Can't she abstain?
Each encounter gives her strength. The effect is narcotic. The more she does it, the more she needs to do it. She will never stop.
Are you in her head? Do you know this for sure? Like, how do you know what her brain says to her? Were you her therapist?
So you hunt down these Asari just because they're born with a genetic condition?
It manifests with maturity. When one is diagnosed, she is offered the chance to live in seclusion and comfort. If she refuses, it shows her addiction to the ecstasy she gets from killing her mates.
So
There is no redemption for such a person.
I thought the Asari were supposed to be pretty good with medicine and whatnot. And they've had plenty of time. They haven't ever developed a therapy for this that can dull the overproduction of the brain chemicals that are giving this feeling of ecstasy when this happens. They've not developed any sort of therapies for this at all. They just make them live in utter seclusion, which is torture, or kill them? Like, I really thought the Asari were supposed to be better at medicine than that. You're not sure there's a methadone clinic for this?
They have to choose between prison and death?
It is an addictive condition. Remember how adaptive we are. If
It
Morinth
doesn't
does not want to
matter.
be cured, she won't be.
Great, so it's an addictive condition. It's a genetic disorder. It is a thing that happened to them. They did not choose it. It is their genetics, and it doesn't comport with what your society would wish of them. And you have had more than 400 years, presumably a lot longer than that, to develop a therapy, and you haven't done so. Maybe you ought to spend some time figuring out medical interventions that will allow them to comport better with your society than blaming them and ostracizing them for a genetic disorder that they have. Simple way to explain this, it's, look over there, it's Caden! Runs off. Sorry, I'm just thinking about it in terms of, like, it seems to me like a neurodivergence, like their brain chemistry is doing something to them. Plus, they also have some sort of other physical. No, but honestly, that could be brain chemistry too, because it's because they have sort of telepathic powers. It just seems like their brain chemistry is different, and they just need some medication to alter their brain chemistry to bring it more in line with what society would want. Sort of like treating many conditions in. Anyway. Yes, my argument is that they should have put more resources into treatment. My issue isn't that... Like, I understand the ones that choose seclusion in order to protect people because their condition causes actual physical death for other people. And I understand needing to hunt down one who chose not to do seclusion and has effectively become a serial killer as a result. My issue is they don't seem to have tried to treat the condition to prevent prison or murder. Like, that's where my issue is, that they don't seem to have put any effort into treating the condition.
Isn't she only deadly to the people
Sorry.
she mates with?
Each time she kills, she becomes stronger, smarter, and faster. And she's been doing this for 400 years. She confuses her victims, twists their feelings. They will do anything.
This is true, Lord Portico. We don't know enough. But what's been presented to us, I'm like, it seems like they didn't even try to treat this condition.
We need to stop her.
Thank you, Commander. There are no words.
You need to
express
put
what this
clothes
means to
on
me.
those boobies.
There is one thing more. This creature, this monster. She is my daughter.
Space Capitalism is Garbage Part 400. Okay, now I understand a little bit better why it may have taken her 400 years. Because it's her daughter?
You said this is genetic. How many children do you have?
3. And 3 Ardat Yakshi are in existence today. It is as it sounds. Morinth was always the wild one. She was happy and free, but selfish.
It can't be easy to talk about.
My daughter's condition is my fault, and my redemption lies in killing her. Do not pity me.
You were biting your tongue?
Simply understand my situation.
How did all this happen?
I spent my youth on the move, adventuring. I killed people, mated with them, or just danced the night away. I learned so much, experienced so much, and then my matron days came. I could finally sit back, bask, and enjoy my family.
That all sounds normal.
But in one moment, it was all taken away.
I don't want to flirt with you.
It sounds terrible.
I sat in a med lab while a nearsighted doctor droned at me, and I learned that nothing was as I thought it would be. I gave up all that I possessed. I own nothing, claim nothing. All my knowledge will die with me. Now my purpose is to destroy my own children.
Wait, destroy your own children, but 2 of them are in seclusion. I thought you didn't have to destroy those 2. I am confused.
Those moments change you.
And I've hundreds of years left to live with that. I say too much. Forgive me. Help me find my long-lost daughter. And kill her.
We'll go find Morinth.
Well, that took a turn. Codex entry. Ardat Yakshi. Demon of the Night winds are Asari suffering from a genetic disorder preventing conventional melding of nervous systems during mating. Instead, Ardat Yakshi electrochemically ravage their partner's nervous system, in extreme cases leaving victims as vegetative invalids or corpses. Asari psychologists regard this incapacity for mental fusion as preventing the development of empathy, leading to psychopathy. There is no known cure. Which, at least that implies that they've tried to find one. The disorder generally begins in infancy, reaching full pathology during maiden adolescent sexual development. While seductive and sexually driven as other Asari, Ardat Yakshi are congenitally sterile. Well, that should prevent them from creating more of themselves. Ancient Asari mythology held Ardat Yakshi as gods of destruction, depicting them as villains of countless legends, and as the anti-heroes of numerous Asari epics. Contrary to popular belief, Ardat Yakshi are neither extremely rare, around 1% of Asari dwell on the AY spectrum, nor are they all murderers. Hi, Tully Highland! Okay, but here now we see it is a spectrum, and they are not all murderers, and about 1% of the population are Ardat Yakshi. So why are there only 3 in existence today? Most cultivate and discard countless exploitative or abusive relationships during their legally marginal lives. Legally marginal lives? Despite rumors of Ardat Yakshi syndicates, by nature Ardat Yakshi are incapable of long-term cooperation? There's a lot of generalization in this summary. As a disproportionately wealthy species, Asari employ their economic reach and media ownership to hide the AY pathology from the galactic community, placing most Ardat Yakshi in monitored work programs or seclusion. Only the most aggressive cases are sentenced to sanitaria and prisons, or to the execution lists of Justicars. It really seems like this is actual neurodivergence that has a physical component to it with regard to mating, and that there should be therapies and treatments and not ostracization and potential execution. That codex entry was an interesting soup of a first draft. I have a little less respect for the Asari as a people now. Okay. Let's figure out where we're gonna go. Also, I should check. I have no idea where we're at with regard to, I was gonna try and, like, hey, sorry, I have to fix a thing. I was gonna try and pay attention to like Twitch ads, because I know that they run them just like they happen automatically, and anybody who's not a subscriber ends up seeing them. So I was gonna try and actually like run ads on a regular schedule to try and reduce and make sure that like people don't see pre-roll ads or stuff like that. I forget though. I forget to pay attention to stuff like that. But I need to think through that. And at some point I probably will need to institute like once an hour I run a minute of ads. And if you're subscribed, you won't see them, but if you're not subscribed, you'll see a minute of ads, but that will prevent them from showing up randomly. And so during that minute, I can not be doing something, and then you don't get like interrupted. Like I could take a break and run ads while I'm on break, and that would be like a thing. And that would prevent the pre-roll ads for a period of time, and it would stop the random ads from showing up. This is why you like the Quarians more? Yeah, I can definitely see that. Alright. I think we should go and actually do a quest. A side quest, but a quest. So it probably won't happen today, but probably soon I will try and figure out the ads thing. It's just about Mountain Dew, Coke Red, and Magic Amazon Box. Are those the ads that they run? I haven't seen an ad on Twitch in quite a long time. I actually I pay $8.99 a month for Twitch Turbo, so that I don't ever see ads. Even if I'm not subscribed to a channel, I don't see ads on that channel. Because I pay for Twitch Turbo. Alright, we are in a system that we haven't explored? Mostly for gaming computers. Hopefully not from the horrible place. Well, I'm sure you all saw, I forget who it was, but it was one of those, well, build your computer things, and they used to stream the actual building process, and they had contests, and the CEO of the company on stream said, oh, you know, we drew, and here's who this winner is, but yeah, we're not gonna let them win because their audience is too small. On stream! Probing time! So that company is basically non-existent now. Because they literally violated the law on stream. Because you can't have a random prize drawing and choose not to honor who the winner is because their streaming audience isn't large enough. Maybe don't violate gaming laws on the internet. Oh my god, it was amazing to watch that happen. And over the course of a couple of days, suddenly the company no longer existed. He's a lawyer, but not your lawyer. Yeah. Alright, let us probe. Uruz, a large rock planet with a pressure cooker atmosphere of nitrogen and argon. Uruz's silicate-rich crust is relatively low density. It was largely ignored by the Solarian explorers who first charted the system. Orbital distance 0.25 AU, orbital period 0.1 Earth years, radius 9,266 kilometers, day length 51.0 Earth hours, atmospheric pressure 78.58 Earth atmospheres, surface temperature 635 Celsius, surface gravity 2.1 G. Really? You heard they weren't paying their taxes? I would not be surprised. I also, it came out after all of this, that their actual computer builds were not terribly reliable. Like, the actual, like, quality control was lacking. And that they, because so many people were getting them for free, like, they were able to get away with not having quality product. But yeah, it basically they came out to be scumbags.
Probe launched.
True. That is absolutely true, Lord Portico. Business tax evasion is a national pastime in the United States of America.
Launching probe.
Crash and burn. Yes. They definitely did crash and burn. It was really offensive, though. I saw the clip. I saw the clip of the actual, like, on-stream what the CEO said as they drew the winner, and just like, dude, what the fuck? And in response, one of their competitors reached out to the person who had won but not won and said, hey, here, we'll give you a computer.
Probe away.
You don't even need to do anything. We're just going to give it to you because this was ridiculous. And I was like, that company knows how to take advantage of a marketing opportunity. They did eventually offer a PC to the person they slighted, but the streamer told them to get the fuck out. Yeah, and rightly so. But by the time they did offer that PC, one of their competitors had already offered a PC to that streamer. And it's like, if you don't want to give, like, you can set conditions on your contest. If you don't consider a streamer below a certain number of followers or below a certain engagement worth giving your stuff to, you set up the contest with rules that say you must meet these criteria to be eligible to enter. It's not that hard. You write it into the contest saying you have to meet these criteria in order to be eligible. And then you run a contest for the people that meet those criteria and happen to enter. But if it's an open contest that anyone can enter, anyone can win. Anywho. Yes, that was good PR for the other company. Kanaz's extremely thin atmosphere is mostly methane and helium. The Solarian explorers who named the system set up a small mining presence for recovering nickel and chromium used in making stainless steels. Orbital distance 0.55 AU. Orbital period 0.5 Earth years. Radius 5,501 kilometers. Day length 68.3 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure trace. Surface temperature 72 Celsius. Surface gravity 0.69 G. Nice. Administering rules involves work. So much easier just to... Yes. Sorry. While I was reading that, my brain decided to say, hey, I have the perfect idea of what you should get your husband as an anniversary gift. I need to write it down. I've been struggling because this is the 8th anniversary, which is apparently copper or pottery. And what the heck do you buy somebody that's copper? But I literally just had an idea of, oh, I think this is copper. I'll have to double check and make sure it actually is. But it would be a perfect idea if it is copper. Pennies! Pennies are mostly not copper. Because copper is really expensive, and actually 1 penny's worth of copper, or basically the amount of metal, the amount of copper that would go into making a penny is worth much more than a penny. So pennies are copper plated, but I believe that the inside is actually nickel or something else like that. Because actually copper has gone up a lot in value over time, which is why, like, derelict buildings, people will literally go in and try and strip copper wires. Well, actually people have gone into construction sites and whatnot to try and steal copper wires. or like copper roofing, things like that. People will break in and steal copper ceilings and copper like roofing tile and stuff like that. Copper dice, except so copper dice would probably be a good gift for me. I don't think they would be a great gift for my husband. He does like cooking, so I had been thinking of like copper cookware, but honestly, we have all the cookware we need. I thought maybe like a copper teapot.
Probe launched.
Now, pottery offers some interesting options with regard to cookware. I could look into pottery and that might offer something that we don't already have that would be interesting to get. I don't know if I've done the scanner on Hug. Oh no, we haven't, because here we haven't read the entry for this either. We were brought here, we didn't travel here. We were on Ilium. Why we're in a system that's unexplored.
Launching probe.
Someone stole copper wires or tried to, but... Yes, turn the power off first. Oh my gosh.
Probe away.
But yeah, my husband's not really into gaming that much. I used to try and get him to play video games with me, and he would literally fall asleep while we were playing. So
Probe launched.
I don't really try to play video games with him anymore. Let's read about Hagalaz. Hagalaz is a second-tier garden world that receives little attention from the galactic community. A Solarian mining expedition initially discovered the planet, which was promptly strong-armed away from them by organized crime figures. Hagalaz's exploration rights were then sold to the highest bidder, which led to a brief burst of mining colonies in the 2000s. But most of those were abandoned when other planets were found with more accessible resources. Though Hagalaz has a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere capable of supporting life, its rotational period is slower than Earth's, making its day and night 98 Earth days long. The intense heat on one side of the planet and the extreme cold on the other make for violent storm cells wherever the sun is rising or setting. As a result, the flora and fauna of Hagalaz have developed the capability to live in cycles of ice, flooding, baking heat, and dramatic air pressure changes. The biota of the planet has been largely unexploited by the exotic pet and gardening trades, since simulating their natural conditions is problematic for the average consumer. Orbital distance 0.95 AU, orbital period 1 Earth years, radius 6,309 kilometers, day length 98.3 Earth days, atmospheric pressure 0.83 Earth atmosphere, surface temperature 72 Celsius day and minus 64 Celsius night, surface gravity 0.69 G. Nice. That's the second planet in the system with a gravity of 0.69 G. I don't think there's a resupply here. How do we get out of this? Yeah, we'll figure it out eventually. And while I've managed to get my husband to actually join in some TTRPGs occasionally. They're not really his thing, so I don't think dice would be the appropriate gift. But they might be a good gift for me. Here we have Ansuz. A large rock planet, Ansuz was once under development by a consortium of robo-mining interests, but an epidemic of accidents and sabotage cost the lives of hundreds of workers and eventually drove them off the world. Despite numerous accusations among the mining corporations and a dozen or more trials, popular opinion holds that the real saboteurs were never found. Orbital distance 1.6 AU, orbital period 2 Earth years, radius 8,795 kilometers, day length 26.4 Earth hours, atmospheric pressure 0.14 Earth atmosphere, surface temperature minus 7 Celsius, and surface gravity 2.7 G. Scanner initiated.
Launched.
We do carry quite a few more probes now. We get to do lots of probing.
Launching probe.
across the universe. Oh yeah,
Probe away.
there's some Ezo here. I'm gonna probe that Ezo.
Launching probe.
I'm silly. I don't know. Gonna probe and probe and probe, and you know, the creatures on these planets are just gonna endure the probing.
Probe away.
We are the aliens. We are conducting the
Launching
probes. And here we are probing the anal region of the planet.
Probe away.
I don't know.
Launching probe.
Finally, no longer rich. Let us go down to poor, and then we'll be on our way. Yes? Oh, look at that Ezo! So, we've been continuing to watch a show that I've mentioned a couple of times. It is an original from Apple. So that means it's on Apple TV Plus. So if you don't have Apple TV Plus, you won't be able to watch it yet, at least. I assume at some point they'll release the like DVD or other options for viewing. We're 6 episodes in, and it continues to be amazing. Absolutely stellar. Every episode has been really, really good.
Launched.
And so modern television, current television, the shows made by streaming services, it really lose me really, really quickly. I get really bored with them very fast lately.
Probe away.
Starting with like when the Marvel shows were coming out on Netflix. So like the ones that just became available on Disney Plus, the Netflix shows for Daredevil and like those ones, those Marvel shows on Netflix. I was so excited for them, and they were so ridiculously boring. They moved so slowly. I couldn't pay any attention, and I stopped watching them. And just basically everything. All the streaming shows have just moved so ridiculously slow that they're so hard to watch because they're boring. And some of them have been a little bit better. Star Trek has been weird. I've enjoyed a lot of the new Star Trek, but I didn't really like the first 2 seasons of Discovery, and then it started picking up, but its pacing is weird. This show on Apple TV Plus has been spectacular. Hit it out of the park. Not predictable, which is typically shows tend to be really overly predictable. This one is not overly predictable. It is not, it hasn't been boring. The pacing has been excellent. And I'm talking about the show Severance on Apple TV Plus. It is amazing. We're 6 episodes in, and every episode has been as strong as the one before. They are really, really good. And the last 3 episodes were all directed by Aoife McCardle, and she did an amazing job. Just absolutely some of the best television I have ever seen. Thurisaz. A hydrogen-helium gas giant, Thurisaz has a decrepit automated Wow! Try that again. A hydrogen-helium gas giant, Thurisaz has a decrepit automated infrastructure for refueling merchant vessels with helium-3. Painted onto the metal of a Solarian painted onto the metal in a Solarian dialect are the words self-serve. Orbital distance 3 AU, orbital period 5.2 Earth years, radius 57,287 kilometers, day length 18.8 Earth hours. And poor resources, so we don't need that one. Oh, I didn't mean to. I have at least one more planet that I need. Take a look at here. Let us enter orbit of a really pretty planet, reminiscent of Earth's moon, but a little more bluish. Sa. A rock and ice planet, Issa has a thin atmosphere of methane and ethane. Its borax deposits, largely trapped beneath the ice, were never considered valuable enough to mine since synthetic substitutes and alternative sources became widely available. Orbital distance 5.4 AU, orbital period 12.6 Earth years, radius 7,219 kilometers, day length 6.5 Earth hours, atmospheric pressure, space. Surface temperature minus 135 Celsius and surface gravity 1.5 G. I don't need to scan for resources there either. So Wilo is 100% explored. Let's see. Baryar, Osun, Ploitari. Have no more exploration required in this region of space. Let us head for the mass relay. We're in the Hourglass Nebula. It is 100% explored. Go to the fuel depot, stock up on probes. We need probes. We need lots and lots of probes because we're always going to be probing. ABP, always be probing. And let us reach the mass relay and figure out where the heck we're going. Ilium is... I think we're done with Ilium for the moment. The Serpent Nebula has the Citadel. We're not ready to go to the Citadel yet. Krogan DMZ, Tachanka, help Grunt, help Morden. Hawking Ada, acquire Reaper IFF. I don't even know what that one is. Valhallan Threshold, help Tali. Omega, help Samara. Ilos Nebula, save crashing ship. That seems the most side questy. Save crashing ship? Where is that quest? Like, do we even have that quest? What is that quest? Save crashing ship. Not that. And go to the Citadel. Taka. Aya. Oh, we don't want to do the Reaper IFF yet. We don't even have a mission to save this crashing ship. What is this crashing ship? I think we must explore. To the Pylos Nebula! The MSV Broken Arrow. Well, the MSV Broken Arrow is going to have to wait while we probe. Let us start with this giant gas planet very close to the star. Isale. Isale is a standard hydrogen-helium gas giant. Though gas giants are known for their powerful magnetic fields, Isale's field is stronger than current models predict. Within the frost line of its solar system, where gas giants do not usually form, Isale is believed to have once been extrasolar. Orbital distance 0.5 AU, orbital period 0.6 Earth years, radius 64,005 kilometers, day length 17.7 Earth hours. Scanner initiated.
Launching probe.
Apparently we're probing today. So if you want to ask probing
Launching
questions,
probe.
it would be an appropriate day for that.
Probe launched.
So what have you all got going on? Anything fun coming up this week? I know we have episode of Barony of Olives coming up on Monday to watch. That will be fun. Of course, that is where we will raid after my Monday stream.
Probe launched.
And I guess today is the third
Probe
episode
away.
of season 2 of Gax Pack. Know that I have a whole lot going on myself, but we've all got interesting things coming up. There, very pretty blue planet here called Jonas. Jonas, a methane ammonia ice giant, is being developed as a fuel depot serving the Pylos cluster. Eldfell Ashland Energy has established a base on one of its moons to crack water ice into hydrogen and oxygen, and skim helium-3 from its atmosphere. Jonas is also believed to be an extrasolar planet captured by its star. From orbit, Normandy's sensors can pick out a hand-painted sign some waggish employee has left outside the complex. Last chance for fuel for 100 light years. Orbital distance 0.65 AU, orbital period 1 Earth year, radius 20,312 kilometers, day length 50.1 Earth hours. Had a game of Scion, yes. Turns out your character is a child of Odin, and you met Munin. So I know who Odin is. I don't know who Munin is. If you would clarify for me, that would be wonderful. But Child of Odin is pretty awesome. I feel that it would be responsible ignore the crashing ship and instead explore these other systems, Dirada. Hello, Dirada. We are in you. Let us see what we can learn about this white giant system. Is this a white giant? Not even a thing? It looks like a white giant. I knew about white dwarf stars. Are there really white giant stars? Oh, one of the ravens. Of course. Of course, yes. Hugin and Munin. Yes. Fly into the sun! Excellent idea. Yeah, I am not stupendously familiar with Norse mythology. I know the corrupted Norse mythology from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I also have listened to Neil Gaiman's narration of Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology. But that doesn't mean that I retained all of it. And so as soon as you mention one of the ravens, I'm like, oh yeah, Hugin and Munin. But when I just saw the name initially, it didn't register as to who it was. Okay, so white giants are a thing. Yeah, okay, I didn't remember. I like white dwarf sticks in my head, but white giant. Red giant. Anyway. Shiano. Shiano, named for an ancient Asari philosopher known for being a contrarian, orbits Dirada at a retrograde. It is believed to be an object that fell into the system millions of years ago from parts unknown. Outermost of Dirada's two inner asteroid belts is thought to have been a small planetoid that was broken up by Shiano's passage into the system. Piano is formed of low-density rock and is tidally locked to Dorada. The same hemisphere always faces the star. There is evidence that a complex of artificial structures once existed in the north of the sunward-facing hemisphere, but they have been badly degraded by millennia of heat and radiation. Several bunkers of radioactive waste, apparently byproducts of primitive fission plants, have been discovered on the far side. Orbital distance 12.9 AU, orbital period 26 Earth years, radius 4,925 kilometers, day length 26 Earth years, atmospheric pressure trace, surface temperature 79 Celsius, surface gravity 0.47 G. My tongue was tripping over itself as I was reading that. It's got like little craters that are all like green in the center, but purple on the outsides.
Probe launched.
And green and purple are the perfect colors, and they complement each other wonderfully no matter what anybody says.
Probe launched.
Although,
Probe away.
I don't really understand the difference between violet and purple. I'm curious about the difference between violet and purple, because apparently violet, camera sensors don't do well with violet, and it tends to show up blue, but purple shows up purple. About 75 nanometers is the difference between violet and purple. My guess is that, so I don't really,
Probe launched.
like, I had always considered violet and purple to be the same, but when I was trying to figure out why the heck does my webcam make purple show up blue, I discovered discussions where people were saying, oh, it's not actually purple, it's violet, and cameras don't do well with violet. Camera sensors tend to show violet as blue.
Launching.
I haven't gone further to understand why that is. I was like, oh, there must be an actual, like, real difference between violet and purple if cameras do okay with purple but not with violet.
Probe launched.
But basically, every time I get a shirt that looks to me like a purple shirt, it shows up as blue on screen, or on stream, because the camera just can't deal with it. There's an hour left. I think I should take a quick bio break, and in an effort to try and figure out how ads work, in order to hopefully reduce the number of ads people are forced to watch, since I'm taking a break, I'm going to run a 1-minute ad break while I'm taking my break, so that hopefully random ads won't pop up during the rest of the stream. We'll give it a try. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to switch to the BRB scene, and I will initiate that ad, and then I will take my break, and I'll be back very, very shortly. Oh, thank you for letting me know that my mic was off. I am back. Hopefully things are functioning okay. Anyway, I also hit the wrong button when I came back, and went to the chatting scene instead of back into the game. But we'll hop back into the game in just a second. And hi, just a ray of trans sunshine. Anywho, so I don't know if the ad thing worked or not. I took my break. I started the 1-minute ad. Hopefully that means there won't be random ad pop-ups for a period of time. I believe running a minute should mean that I don't get random ads showing up for an hour, which should be the rest of stream. Fingers crossed. I'm trying to figure it out. I wish that I could just have no ads whatsoever. But that's unfortunately not an option that they give. So I'm gonna try and hey, once an hour I take a break and I run a minute of ads, and that means that you don't have ads running when I'm actually doing something, which is kind of the best that I can do. But of course, if you are a subscriber, you don't see them anyway. So the see if the mic was off test worked. Yes, that test, that worked just fine. I forgot that when I got up, I pushed the mute button, because I used to have my scene set up in a way that the BRB scene just didn't have a mic on it. But now it does, so I have to mute, and I remembered to mute, but I forgot to unmute. Anyway, we're gonna jump back into the game, and I'm gonna keep probing everything. I'm probing the entire universe. Where did my button go? I have a freaking stream deck, so that all I have to do is push a button. But it helps if I remember where the buttons are. Anywho, Thanusi. Thanusi is a small barren rock, though there is evidence that it once had an atmosphere of carbon dioxide. Only trace amounts of krypton and xenon remain. Like Shiano, it is tidally locked to Dorada. Orbital distance 25.7 AU, orbital period 73.1 Earth years, radius 3,602 kilometers, day length 73.1 Earth years, atmospheric pressure trace, surface temperature -10 Celsius, and surface gravity 0.3 G. And of course, it is rich in resources, so we've got to get lots of resources.
Launching probe.
Oh, this game. as I have said before, the primary point of this game is probing for resources, because it is the thing you do the most. It is the thing that takes the most of the gameplay time. Therefore, this is what the game is about.
Launching probe.
And of course, that is just my opinion.
Probe
But
launched.
if games today that like brag about X amount of gameplay time,
Probe
my
launched.
fear is that they have something like this that takes a lot of time, that they calculate into the amount of time
Probe launched.
that it takes to play the game, or the amount of game there is. And I'm like,
Probe launched.
this takes a lot of time. Therefore, and this takes the most time. Therefore, this is the game. The other stuff that you actually want to do, there's not as much of. The way I said resources reminds you of the mom from Matilda. Oh. I've seen Matilda, and my brain will not go there, and I don't remember how I said it. So, but Matilda,
Launched.
is a good story. I like the musical. I like the
Probe
movie.
away.
I do not like the author. Roald Dahl was not a great person. But Matilda is a great story, and the musical Matilda is also really, really good. But yeah, Roald Dahl, not great.
Probe away.
Speaking of not great, there's been so much stuff over the last week about a forthcoming game that I will not be purchasing and will not be playing from a certain turfs, who
Anomaly detected.
has made it very clear that she thinks as long as people are continuing to engage with the products based around the world that she made, that they support her opinions about trans people. So, I do have Garrus, indeed. Canalis. Canalis is smaller than Earth, but has unusually high density. The high level of tectonic activity indicates that the density is caused by an abundance of radioactive materials in the core. These, combined with the planet's unusually high rate of spin, raise the planet's internal temperatures and cause volcanism. While several companies performed mineral assays in the late 2170s, the world's geological instability precluded development. Orbital distance 46.3 AU, orbital period 146.8 Earth years, radius 4,618 kilometers, day length 9.8 Earth hours, atmospheric pressure 0.88 Earth or 0.83 Earth atmospheres, surface temperature 99 Celsius, and surface gravity 0.85 G. Scanning. Good. Yeah, and the thing is, it looks anomaly detected. It looks like it's probably a good game. It looks like the game that everybody has wanted for years. I won't buy it and I won't play it because I'm sorry, but I am not willing to support J.K. Rowling at all. Just no. Like, that entire franchise is ruined for me at this point.
Probe launched.
Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I don't know that one, but no, I'm talking about there's a new Harry Potter game coming out that
Probe away.
looks good. I will not be playing it.
Launching probe. I have found something.
Oh, apparently we have detected the anomaly. Sensors detecting anomalous weather patterns on the planet's surface. Geth activity detected. Recommend extreme caution. I think we should land. Oh, let me finish scanning first. Because I can. Hi, Hannah. Still enjoy the books and movies, but don't engage with anything else. Yeah, it's really infuriating. I love the series, but I want to molecularly rip her to shreds. Yeah, yeah, kinda. Like, I really enjoyed it. It took me a bit to get into it, but then I loved the books when I finally read them. I've listened to the audiobooks. I really, just, like, it was good. It was something that resonated with a lot of people, and then to find out that she's such a fucking turf. Just... And, like, no. I mean, I had issues with the way that she, after the fact, went back and said, oh, well, Dumbledore was gay, with no indications of it anywhere in the text. Just, oh, yeah, I always thought of him as being so. Like, I had issue with that, but the whole turfness, it just, no. And the fact that she's made it clear that she thinks that anybody who's actually engaging with anything Harry Potter is endorsing her positions on trans issues, really just makes it so that it can't engage with Harry Potter anymore. Extreme explosions. Well, and so one of the things that I find really interesting, and I still won't be playing the game, but in response to her existence, the game devs actually made it, worked hard to make it so that you can very explicitly make trans characters in the game. But unfortunately, she still gets royalties, and she can still claim that people support her because they're engaging with Harry Potter content. And so I just won't be doing it. Actually, GameStop had a really good article yesterday, or Friday, about all of the issues around J.K. Rowling and around the new game, and it was really good. Thank you, Lord Portico, for the ME Combat Prep command. I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing. There's just Geth here. What gun do I have equipped? Let's go for the one that I actually... What is this atmosphere? I don't like it. It means I can't see anything. Having your dev team flipping you the bird by denying your trans... Yeah. What is this? Okay.
We've been spotted.
We have? I haven't spotted them! Oh. Run. Run. This is why this cover is here. Okay. Let's try this gun.
Go in peace.
Oh, where'd it go? This is gonna be a hard battle if I'm never gonna be able to see any of them. I just know that this blue light means there's somebody there, but I can't actually see what's going on.
One falls.
They're all yours, Mika.
Go in peace.
I have no idea if I'm hitting anything at all.
Sakura be praised.
I'm the red glowy light. Yeah, great. Alright. Apparently, I was just staying too far at a distance and I needed to move in some. I love my sniper rifle. My rapid fire sniper rifle. Oh. Hi there. Die there.
Combat drone ready.
Why are we fighting these Geth? I mean, other than that they're Geth. We didn't even have a mission. We just came here. And now we're having a firefight that with Geth we can't even see. I mean, that sounds very Mass Effect to me. Oh! I can see you! That means you die! Don't fire until you see the red of their glowy, glowy eye. Are we good? This is the best sniper rifle. I love this sniper rifle. Find palladium! Yes, please. I would also like some refined palladium TTRPGs, please. Palladium really needs to put some effort into refining their TTRPGs, bringing them more into the modern era, and getting rid of some of the really cringe 90s content. Because I really did enjoy me some Palladium stuff back in the day, but yeah, we need some refined Palladium, please. I don't know where I'm going. I was just following all the refined palladium. You understood the reference. I have an entire shelf full of palladium TTRPG books, and they all could use some refining. Yes, yes, Ilaki, you are absolutely correct. And the problem is, so many of the world books and supplements for that were written by the same author, and that author's work is just really cringe today. Like, it seriously needs an update, and they're just unwilling to do it, which means that I will never play it again. As much as I love it, I'm more likely to adapt the concept of the world and the whole general premise of some major event caused a bunch of rifts to open on Earth, and Earth is sort of a central nexus for the multiverse. I'm more likely to adapt that into D&D 5e than I am to play Rift.
Combat drone ready.
Yeah, just a little bit of tweaking. And like, for me, Rifts was the first TTRPG system that I ever really learned. So to me, the D20 like sort of system that D&D works with, my understanding of how a system was meant to work was the Rifts system. There is a version of Rifts in Savage Worlds now. But is that updated content? I don't know. I haven't really looked at Savage Worlds. So the issue is, like, Rifts, basically, they've republished it a couple times, but they've never updated the content. They've never gotten rid of some of the problematic aspects of it, which is my problem with it. So it holds
This looks interesting.
a special place in my heart for being the thing that got me started with TTRPGs, but I also have no desire to play it because it has so many problems. Oh, we got a shield upgrade. A Blade of 6. Let us do that shield upgrade real quick. Upgrades! I will take your upgrade. Alright. That was a nice little excursion onto a planet. I thought that was at Canalis. That was at Canalis. Right? Yes. Okay. Definitely where we were. Next up, we have Zeth. Zeth is a common hydrogen-helium gas giant. An abundance of sulfur in the upper atmosphere gives it distinct yellow stripes. Orbital distance 69.5 AU. Orbital period 325.2 Earth years. Radius 60,327 kilometers. Day length 14.8 Earth hours. Moderate resources that we should hopefully be able to deplete very quickly.
Launching probe.
What a tasty looking planet. There was... So I... also, just... Hi, just here for coffee. Looking at this planet, it makes me think of an atomic fireball. Which, if you're unfamiliar, atomic fireballs are a ball of candy that is hot on the outside, like a red hot type spicy cinnamony hotness on the outside, and that after you get through the outer coating of the hot stuff, is actually more of a milky sweetness on the inside. But during the summer that I was 13,
Probe away.
I sort of hyper-focused on a couple of things that summer, and honestly that should have been a real indicator for the ADHD that I did not know that I had until a month ago. Oh, look, Cineas, a standard hydrogen-helium gas giant. Cineas has more than 80 moons. Orbital distance 138.9 AU. Orbital period 919.2 Earth years. Radius 63,748 kilometers. Day length 16.4 Earth hours. Oh, core resources. We don't need to probe it. So that summer, a neighbor took me to the library's summer reading program, and that was the summer that I discovered Terry Brooks's Shannara series, starting with the first book in the tetralogy that came after the initial trilogy, So Scions of Shannara. Oh my god, it's gorgeous purple. Look at it, it's wondrous. And I spent the whole summer reading Terry Brooks. Like everything Terry Brooks had ever published up to that point. I spent the whole summer locked in my room reading that with Depeche Mode playing on cassette on my little boombox. Curtains drawn, Depeche Mode playing, reading Terry Brooks novels, and literally just Atomic Fireball after Atomic Fireball. That was my summer, the year I was 13. Vioressa. With an orbital period nearly 2 millennia long, the cold and distant Vioressa was actually missed in the initial Asari survey of the system. Only a follow-up mineral assay sent to Canalis by a Volus mining concern noticed its subtle movement across the stars. Vioressa is a methane-ammonia ice giant circled by a retinue of deep-frozen moons. Its remoteness makes it a popular drive-discharge point for pirates working the Pylos Nebula cluster. In the last 2 years, several dozen ships have disappeared while passing through the Dorada system. As Pylos is currently unclaimed by any sovereign power, Council Navy patrols are few and far between. Thus far, none of the pirates responsible have been apprehended. Orbital distance 222.2 AU, orbital period 1860.4 Earth years. Radius 26,566 kilometers. Day length 12.7 Earth hours. With your RPG library project, deal with balancing the goal of preserving all RPGs in your collection with the need to place disclaimers on the very same books when people yeah. Oh, poor resources. I'm not gonna spend any probes on Vioressa. Although it would be good to know how many probes I have. I only have 12 probes, so yeah, we're gonna go back to the system where we came from and buy some more probes before we do the other two. And honestly, most of history needs disclaimers. 80s and 90s TRPGs, lots of issues. They definitely need a disclaimer. But they also have some genuinely amazing concepts. So, like, I love the whole idea of the rifts. I love that some major disaster caused the energization of the ley lines across the planet, and at ley intersections, rifts erupted, and those rifts are essentially portals to other realms that are part of this broad multiverse. And so you've got fantasy mixing with magic, mixing with high technology and sort of fantastical sci-fi, along with more hard sci-fi. You've got the Glitter Boys. You've got I love Atlantis shows up. I don't like what Atlantis is in the world. Like, if I was redoing Rifts today, Atlantis needs a rework. Atlantis in Rift is like the Orion Syndicate in the original Okay. That was an internet blip. Thank you so much, Chantel, for your wonderful internet service provision. That was sarcasm, by the way. But yeah, so the whole like you could have vampires who are flying around in personal mech suits. Rifts allows for that. Like, you could have a freaking vampire glitter boy flying around in a personal, like, Iron Man type suit in the middle of the day. And it would be a totally doable thing. My first character in Rifts was a tree. Literally a weeping willow that could polymorph itself into, or herself into, essentially like a dryad. So could exist either as a weeping willow that literally walked around, or as a dryad that walked around and was a spellcaster, but also had like a laser gun and other things like that. And you could have mechs flying around inside mech suits. Yeah. Like the concept of rifts is wonderful, and I think that's why I like the idea of like D&D Spelljammer so much, because I feel like Spelljammer in D&D gives the opportunity to do what Rifts was, but in a system that has been much more updated. One of the expansions, you could be orcas. Yeah. So I have 20 or so of the world books that detailed different parts of Earth, like what it's like in Britain and Eastern Europe, what it's like in Chi-Town, which is one of the major remaining cities, and just, I don't know. Rifts was, it's a really amazing concept. I wish they would update it. I would be running games. Like, I would make myself a GM just so I could play Rifts if they would update it. But, and I don't want a GM. But just to have the opportunity to play Rifts, if it was updated, I would be all over that. But since they won't update it, I will put my energies elsewhere and play other games. Looking for opportunities to kind of mix the sci-fi and the fantasy together, however those other games allow it to be done. So, anything goes ethos of imaginative roleplay, which is wonderful, but at the same time, yeah. So I think really, I just want to take the concept of Rifts, the idea of the world of Rifts, and implement it in a different system. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with the Rifts system either. I could just play Rift and just ignore most of the lore that it gives me. Take the key kernel of the idea and go with it, because it has good mechanics for how the glitter boys function, and the cybernetics and things like that mix in a system that functions with fantasy and things like that. But honestly, at that point, why don't you just play GURPS? Just use GURPS instead of the Rifts system. They're similar. Yes, I have not had a chance to play Numenera. But yeah, I think Cypher gives the opportunity to do the sci-fi fantasy mix. I also have Dark Matter, which was a 5e supplement, or a system that was made to work on 5e, that basically takes all of the D&D stuff and puts it in space. Partner with your RPG library yesterday said he was going to reach out to Kevin Ciambiera to run Rifts as a featured ticket event with you at Gen Con. Yeah, I don't see any reason to promote them at this point. They need to take a cue from Wizards of the Coast and update their system. update their lore. Honestly, their system is fine. They need to update the lore. Anyway, let's see. Natiza. An unremarkable methane ammonia gas giant, Natiza would be of no consequence if it weren't the only approachable gas giant in the Saturn system. Boro's Volus colony has set up a few automated ice cracking stations around the planet, and Narhu Combine has been contracted to set up a helium-3 extraction facility. Construction has lagged due to the CEO's arrest in a kickback scandal that reaches to the highest levels of the Vol Ministry of the Frontier. Orbital distance 4.1 AU, orbital period 8.3 Earth years, radius 23,623 kilometers, day length 8.9 Earth hours. 4? Moderate. Okay. Hopefully we don't have to do too much probing. I'm getting a little tired of probing at this point. Spoke with Monty Cook Games this week when you were at Gamma. Super exciting new Cypher System RPG launching Tuesday on Kickstarter based on the Tidal Blades board game system. I do not know Tidal Blades. Based on the spelling of Tidal, I'm assuming something to do with water? I would appreciate expansion. If you care to elaborate, I would be interested. Probing is tiring work. Look at this gorgeous planet. Look at it. It's gorgeous. It's so green, and it's got clouds, and it is named Boro. Boro is a young Volus colony world, settled in defiance of a threat by Terminus pirate groups. The pirates, who can't use the world themselves, have suggested that the Volus hire them to protect the colony. The Volus responded by requesting military protection from their Turian allies. Although uncomfortably hot by Volus standards, Boro has the rare combination of high pressure and ammonia ecology Volus require. Development of the colony is proceeding rapidly. Colony founded 2180, population 1617. Capital, Yila. Orbital distance 2.1 AU, orbital period 3.4 Earth years, radius 10,573 kilometers, day length 31 Earth hours, atmospheric pressure 1.6 Earth atmosphere, surface temperature minus 57 Celsius, and surface gravity 1.66 G. And oh yes, you better believe that even though it is populated, we are gonna probe this planet. Tidal Blades is a fantasy magic archipelago setting. Fun board games, great lore. Yeah! Archipelago gives the option to basically have every single island in the chain be unique and different, which is great for a TTRPG setting, or honestly for a board game setting. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. I definitely enjoy some Cypher System. I've played The Stars Are Fire. I've played just general Cypher System with original concept applied to it, like used it to create a game. That was I ran a game, a one-shot based on the John Brunner novel The Sheep Look Up, and used the Cypher System to do that. And I've played Claim the Sky. I played a 3-shot series of Claim the Sky, which was also quite a lot of fun. Everything I've done in Cypher System has been a lot of fun. I do think Cypher System would really benefit from something like a D&D Beyond type site, which, if I remember correctly, Dimension 20 is going to be doing. Cypher, I think, is one of the systems they're going to be doing online support for. The reason it could benefit from it, and what it really, really needs, is it needs support for saving macros. If you do something and you have figured out these are the things that play into this, here's how much I can reduce the difficulty by on this type of thing, you just need to be able to save that macro and know for the next time that these are what goes into reducing that, and I can drop it by 4 steps. Demiplane, yes. Thank you, Elaki. Demiplane. But yeah, so it needs because if you have to sit there and figure out how far you can lower it every time, that's just too much. You need to be able to know that, okay, I'm doing this thing and I can lower it this many steps. And then you don't get bogged down in trying to figure out how many difficulty levels you can lower something every single time. Yeah, I haven't used Foundry for it. I've only used Foundry for D&D at this point. Although I have seen Foundry used for Forbidden Lands. A lot of the Foundry implementations work really well. Anadia. Anadia is a small ice body with very low density. Its mass is only 4% of that of Earth. It appears to be composed mainly of carbon and water ice, but over the millennia it has accrued a trace atmosphere of krypton and xenon. While Anadia's gravity is weak enough that a cruiser could land on it safely, there is no particular reason one would want to. Pirates have been known to land to recover ice for cracking into hydrogen and oxygen. One area in the southern hemisphere, the so-called Anadian Scrapes, is so frequently used for this purpose that higher albedo raw ice can be easily seen from orbit. Orbital distance 1.14 AU, orbital period 1.4 Earth years, radius 2,949 kilometers, day length 38.6 Earth hours, atmospheric pressure trace, surface temperature minus 41 Celsius, and surface gravity 0.19 G. You just got Forbidden Lands this week! Yes! Forbidden Lands,
Launching probe.
with a couple of extremely slight lore modifications, Forbidden Lands is absolutely amazing. It plays really well. It seems like something where characters will die very quickly and very easily, but if you play Forbidden Lands knowing going in that it is deadly, and adjusting how you react to things from... So, like, D&D, you encounter a bear, and the bear is coming at you to attack, you attack back. Forbidden Lands, you encounter a bear, and that bear is coming at you to attack, you run as fast as you fucking can.
Launching probe.
But apart from some of the racial lore just not being great, I'm thinking, like, dwarves and goblins. And just, like, you can just ignore that and do away with it. The game itself is really good. I enjoy the dice system. I enjoy playing the game. I'm very happy that my introduction to playing Forbidden Lands was Eric Campbell as GM, because I'm not certain that anybody else could have made me love it quite as much. But it is quite a good game, and well worth playing.
Probe launched.
I have a printed copy of Forbidden Lands coming.
Launching probe.
I have been playing the entire time I've been playing it. I've only had the PDF. But when they did their Kickstarter for their last Kickstarter for an expansion to it, as part of the Kickstarter, I got a printed copy of the base game as well. Begging your pardon, Fairy Rune Knight, but we will need to report to the Magic Boat Dock in 15 minutes. Thank you, Lord Portico. We will finish Satent, and then we will go, oh my god, it's a purple marble, and it is gorgeous! And look at the purple marble! I love the planet art in this game. Purple, and it has a little ring of pink. Oh my god, it is gorgeous and wonderful, and I love it. Rhysaris. An airless rock of mixed light ores, Rhysaris is only of note for the Peryinu impact crater. A relatively recent asteroid strike within the last million years, the core of the object was partly composed of element 0. It struck at a low enough velocity that the EZO remained near the surface. Over the years, many pirates and wildcat miners have attempted to extract the ore. It is believed that the Terrinu debris originated in the pulsar system AAP 34211+19. The supernova that formed the pulsar also created the red emission nebula that human spacers have unofficially named the Sakura Nebula. The Sakura Nebula. Orbital distance 0.6 AU. Orbital period 0.5 Earth years. Radius 3,790 kilometers. Day length 66.3 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure trace. Surface temperature 56 Celsius and surface gravity 0.24 G. Ooh, yes, Coyote and Crow. I
Launching probe.
haven't got my physical copy of that yet either, but I have the PDF of that one. That's one that I need to buy a second copy of because I need to just donate it to my library. My library where I work, we are not a tribal library, so I couldn't just automatically buy a second copy through the Kickstarter to have it sent there. So instead, I just plan to buy it because we have a TTRPG collection in our collections, and I want that to be one of the ones that's there. I plan to do the same with the Motherlands RPG, and make sure that we have a copy of that in our collection as well. The planet matches your hair, yeah! This planet, not violet.
Probe away.
What a lovely blue planet, yes. Oh, eventually Blue Planet is going to come out too. Blue Planet Recontact. I did back that one on Kickstarter. Someday all of these things will come out, and I will look at them longingly. Because there's little chance I will ever have a chance to ever play any of them. But, that's not going to stop me from supporting the creators and reading them and wishing that I could play them. That said, there is one game from my youth that I need to look at again and just see how it stacks up today. See how it has weathered the years. Because I have fond memories of ElfQuest, and I need to go and look and see how ElfQuest looks with today's eyes. Because that could be something fun to play. The first Blue Planet RPG stuff is on Bundle of Holding right now. Cool. Oh yeah, for the original Blue Planet. Yeah, I think I saw that. While I'm here. Live. They are not. GaryCon Live is not live yet. But I am prepared for when they will be. One of the 2 video games you backed on Kickstarter, you finally got around to starting yesterday. You're struggling with it because computer seems to have issues with running the game, even though you... Yeah, I don't know. I think I've only played one game that I know was... Or no, I guess I've played 2 games that I guess were Kickstarted. The Battletech game apparently was a Kickstarted game. And the Pillars of Eternity, I guess, were Kickstarted. I've never Kickstarted a video game. So, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully your computer, the issues smooth out and it is a wonderful experience for you. Oh, yeah, laptops. I struggled. When I played Pillars of Eternity 2, I was just on my Mac laptop, and it was a lot of work for my laptop. I'm going to read this last one, and this will be the last thing we do in the game. Rescal. Rescal is a massive hot Jupiter gas giant that whips around the star Satent once every 4.5 days. Like most planets of its type, it migrated inwards from its initial position in the system, thought to be around 0.3 AU. Rescal is one of the few close-orbiting gas giants to show a marked temperature difference in its sun-facing and dark-side hemispheres. The atmosphere absorbs and re-radiates Satent's heat too quickly for winds to carry the heat to the dark side. There is a temperature difference of over 1,000 degrees between the gas giant's hot and cold poles. Orbital distance 0.02 AU, orbital period 4.56 Earth days, radius 69,155 kilometers, day length 4.56 Earth days. Feel like we are scanning the sun.
Launching probe.
We will probe the sun. We'll just pretend that we're using probes designed by a Ferengi.
Probe away.
And launched by a human medical doctor.
Probe away.
Honestly, one of the best episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation. I don't actually know the name of the episode, but the one, the one where Dr. Beverly Crusher is in trouble because she supported a Ferengi scientist's solar research, and it's a wonderful episode. And sets up for Beverly Crusher being put, or for a later episode where Beverly Crusher is in command, that is also excellent. Okay. Well, I'm gonna begin the preparations for the end, since, you know, we've been really distractible today, which is totally fine, and I don't mind being distractible. Let me go ahead and music. Hopefully the music is not too loud for you. This should not be too loud, and hopefully you can hear it. But also, I should go to this. Suspicions. Yeah. Wouldn't mind having a gaming desktop, but you need to have a laptop to go back and forth to work. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I still have my laptop. My laptop is very old and will probably die if I ever use it. So the gaming desktop that I currently have is a much better computer, much stronger, but I bought my laptop in 2014 using student loan money because I was attending school online. But so it was a like $4,000 Apple laptop. It still functions, but it's been quite a while. It's been almost 10 years, and they're really not designed to last that long. So, I should thank Was Not Worth It for being a coffee subscriber. I should thank all of you all for joining me today, and I should thank Lord Portico for being a wonderful mod. Hopefully, I think anybody who usually ends up having to sit through ads, hopefully this last hour you have not had ads, which was the whole reason why I ran an ad break when I was at when I took a break an hour ago. So hopefully you have not had ads. Yay! So I will need to doing that more in the future. Gaxpack will be on very shortly. Your laptop's only 4 years old at most. Pretty good job overall. Overwatch is no problem. Awesome. Yeah, like my laptop would not be able to handle something like that. It barely was able to do Pillars of Eternity 2. So, yeah. But yeah, Eric just was retweeting JCM saying Gaxpack is back and that they will be live very soon. Oh god. Oh no. Sorry, I opened the Twitter for a second and Eric tweeted out a picture of the Nintendo cereal system. Oh god, I remember that. It was really bad. But also, we definitely ate it. Oh god. And there's stuff like that today too. That said, I stopped buying Kellogg's a while back because Kellogg's was actively hiring scabs rather than paying attention to their workers' needs and demands. And I have not seen that there's been resolution with that, so as far as I know, I still need to not be buying Kellogg's, and so I have not been buying Kellogg's. But I do miss having a stash of Pop-Tarts at work for days where I just can't make breakfast. Anyway, I'm gonna stop digressing because now I no longer need to. The Gax Pack GaryCon Live is live, and we're gonna head over to watch the latest episode of the Gax Pack. My next stream will be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. I will be continuing with Wander Song, which has been a glorious game. And then, of course, after stream tomorrow, we will head over to Q Times for the next episode of Barony of Olives. This coming Wednesday at 2:30 p.m., I will be live with more of Godey's Ladies Book, the women's magazine from the 1800s that we were looking at last week. We're going to look at some more this week. Saturday, I will have more Ultima 5. We finished all of the Shrine Quests, and I don't know what we're doing next, but we'll do something. And then, of course, next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we will be back for more Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and I will continue with my subtle pattern that is there for you to identify if you can figure out what it is. So that will be next Sunday. Thank you all so much for stopping by. It is great fun having you here. I know today we basically just read a bunch of planet descriptions, but I'm enjoying it regardless. Hopefully you are too, and I hope that I see you again soon. Let me go ahead and set up the raid to GaryCon Live. I'm glad that you found it fun. I enjoy having the random chats during this, regardless of whether it is while reading descriptions or while fighting. We have lots of random talk while we play the Mass Effect. So, there was a thing. Well, you know, when we get over there, if you just want to do hashtag rogue raid, and if you have the little hello daggers, go ahead and drop those in there as well. Otherwise, just, you know, wave, say hello, and that would be wonderful. I will I will see you again soon. Until then, get out there and do some shenanigans.